Hi, I'm Elle. I'm Head of Content at C3 and we're going to chat to the team basically just to find out what it is they love about content and how they got into it in the first place. I didn't actually know that content was a job, so I used to love writing when I was younger, but I always thought if you wanted to write, you had to write books. So I went into just a generic in-house marketing role, so I did a bit of content, a bit of SEO, social, blogger outreach, but kind of realised that what I really enjoyed doing, what I did really well, was the writing side.
I worked in-house for years, doing sort of general marketing stuff, some digital, some point of sale, stuff like that. I did lots and lots and lots of different things, and I realised actually the thing I like best is writing, is creating content for websites. And then as I went through my career, I realised, oh, SEO content is a thing that you can just do.
I'll go all the way back to university. So I applied for a journalism degree because I thought, oh, I'll be like a writer, journalist. But it was actually more heavily focused on video and broadcast journalism. So at that point, when I graduated, I thought, oh, it's been a great 3 years, but I fancy going back to the writing.
I did an English literature degree and I created a blog because my lecturer was like, oh, if you want to get into content outside of university, then a blog would be a good idea. So I did that, and then I was like, I actually really love writing, like for a living as well as just for a degree.
I actually kind of fell into content by accident. One of the things the client sites I went on was like, oh hey, we've got a different role for you. It's called copywriting. It's like, how do you feel about that? And it's like, why not? I didn't know you could get paid to write, which was a very strange thing to think of when you think about it. Somebody has to do it all.
So when I was about 10, I read an adapted version of Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. To know that a woman had written this hundreds of years ago and it still spoke to me as a 10-year-old, and it sparked within me this feeling of like, wow, like women have been writing amazing things for so many years, and I think I could do that.
I think everyone on the content team is going to say, I wanted to be an author.
I wanted to be an author.
I wanted to be an author when I was younger, which is very apt for what I do now. Because I loved a bit of Roald Dahl, I loved Jacqueline Wilson.
An illustrator.
When I was little, I wanted to be a writer, and then I wanted to be a librarian, like my mum. And then I wanted to be a marine biologist.
I wanted to be a book character at one point.
The first job I ever remember wanting was to dress at Waxworks at Madame Tussauds. I don't know if that's an actual job, but that's what I really wanted to do.
I actually really love drawing. So I reckon I fancied myself as a bit of an artist.
For the longest time I wanted to be a paleontologist. I was massively obsessed with Jurassic Park as a kid.
I think it's that you can kind of make what you want of it. So I'm quite a creative person to an extent, but I also do enjoy kind of the more strategy side of things. So I feel like I've been able to create my role where I can do all the keyword research and come up with the ideas, but I can kind of leave the creativeness of doing sort of larger PR campaigns, copywriting to people who do like it more.
For me, what I like about content is that it gives me opportunity to be creative, whether that's writing or thinking up ideas for blogs that we can do, or whether it's working with a PR team, doing some of their campaigns. It just gives me the opportunity to express a bit of creativity.
There's no better feeling than the buzz when you see you're ranked #1 or you've got a featured snippet. It's genuinely a real buzz, especially when it's a big meaty guide that you've written and it's genuinely ranking really well, it's got tons of keywords. That's a lovely feeling.
I like the fact that every day I can just get up and be like, okay, here's the topic I'm writing on today, but I have, for the most part, free range on how I write it.
There's a lot of content that I used to read that was out there and I was like, well, I can't understand what this means, like there'd be an acronym, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I suppose I love that we can explain what that is and like people can learn from it.
I think for me, content is really versatile, which means that like during your day-to-day, you're not just focusing on one thing every single day repeatedly. Like there's such a wide variety of things you could be writing about.
The main thing is to actually get experience, whether it's an internship or something within marketing and content, but if you can't do that, I would say start your own blog. It's a good way to be able to start learning how to write content, because alongside that you can do Google Analytics courses, you can go on Google Digital Garage and start learning like the basics of how to optimize content for SEO.
Make sure your writing is absolutely spot on. Make sure that you know your grammar inside out, that you can construct a sentence that's engaging, that you can write in different styles. You know, if you're transitioning from marketing or something in-house to agency, you'll need to be able to write across so many different kinds of clients and sort of different tones of voices.
My background's fashion and I would just love to have a fashion client, ideally a luxury fashion. But if I could ever put my name to something like that, that'd be pretty amazing.
Food.
Could write for any brand, I'd like to write for probably 2K Games. They make the video games that I really like, the strategy kind of stuff. So yeah, being able to be a part of that and the content that goes into making that would be amazing.
Obviously I'd love to work with Spurs, like I love it.
I volunteer with the Girl Guides and it's such an outstanding organisation. They just inspire so many girls to find themselves and find confidence within themselves. If I could write more about them, I would love to.
I might have been really good when I was like super young, but as I grew up, everyone else got better and better and I stayed at the same level. So I'm probably at my age now, I wouldn't make it as an artist.
Okay.
So
can you colour within the lines?
I can colour within the lines if I'm extra careful. And I know that's making it into the bloopers.